Charles Barkley just compared Caitlin Clark to Jason Kidd. Is she really that good? Let's break down what's making this rookie a game changer in the WNBA. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. What is absolutely insane? The way Caitlin Clark is performing, she is elevating the performance of her colleagues. What gives a novice the chance to pull that off? There has never been a player like Clark who went from collegiate superstar to WNBA game changer. She was subjected to unbearable pressure upon entering the league. She had everyone's attention, and they were all waiting to see if she could deliver. Clark, however, not only lived up to, but completely surpassed all expectations. Her impact on the Indiana Fever team extends far beyond her score totals. Do you recall when they were having trouble with 1-8? It seems like every game they play, they're winning. Clark seemed to infuse the court with an entirely new vitality. When asked about Clark's influence, Charles Barkley, who is known for being forthright, had some very outrageous things to say. A legend in the NBA, he said she was like Jason Kidd. Do you think that's true? Barkley pointed out, "She reminds me a lot of Jason Kidd. If I give you the ball full speed ahead, instead of waiting for you to finish, you get you another 8 to 10 points a game." Not only is that praise, but it also places Clark among the all-time greats. However, things get trickier from here on out. Even though Clark is a scoring machine and an assist dispenser, not everyone in the WNBA is overjoyed. Some longtime participants are, well, they're not exactly making a grand entrance. Hey, you're just starting out. Take it easy for a while. Envy amongst your co-workers is a real possibility if you're really good at what you do. At the moment, that is the truth for Clark. And what's even worse, the WNBA, in Barkley's opinion, utterly failed with Clark. His blunt statement said, "They could not have messed up this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried." Oh no, having the winning lottery ticket and neglecting to cash it in is the same thing. How then will this impact Clark and the team? Yeah, it's not easy. You have this amazing player on one hand, and they're drawing in new viewers. Many people are tuning in to see Clark play in the WNBA, even if they have never watched a game before. For a league that is constantly trying to attract more spectators, that is a significant deal. On the flip side, a huge opportunity will pass the WNBA by unless they can find a way to harness Clark's star power. Having a Ferrari and letting it sit in a garage is the same thing. The purpose is lost. As Barkley noted, Clark isn't merely playing faster, she's becoming more strategic. She's putting her faith in her teammates and making split-second judgments that defenders can't help but wonder about. Everyone else seems to be playing checkers, but she's playing chess. And for a second, let's focus on those teammates. Clark's positive influence extends beyond herself. She lifts those in her vicinity as well. For some reason, seemingly impossible passes end up being spot on. Even players who had trouble finding the basket are now putting up double-digit totals. The basketball equivalent of the Midas touch seems to be at work for Clark. There's a twist in the tale of Clark, whose success story is legendary. There is a major issue with the WNBA's timing. Think about this. You have a superstar on the field, but half the crowd is off watching. What? Football. If something has to give, Charles Barkley isn't hesitating. You'd think Caitlin Clark would be escorted by the WNBA, wouldn't you? She's winning over audiences, garnering media attention, and performing at a professional level. Now, the really exciting part, using her star power has been a challenge for the league. It would seem as though they are in possession of a winning lottery ticket, but they are unable to locate it. Here we will dissect it. Viewership for the WNBA has been down for a long time. What do they do now that they have Clark, who is essentially a walking highlight reel? They play their games when the majority of viewers are more interested in seeing touchdowns than three-pointers. Charles Barkley, who was known for being forthright, stated it in no uncertain terms. He pointed out they have to figure out a way to let people know where the damn games are. Do you think that's true? Even in 2023, nobody can seem to track down the games to watch. It's the equivalent of throwing a surprise party, but completely omitting the invitations. Excuse me, but things are about to turn ugly. With the next statement, Barkley once again revealed the truth. They could not have messed this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. Oh no, Having a Ferrari and delivering pizzas in it is the same thing. Despite the WNBA's unprecedented level of attention-grabbing skill, the league is squandering possession of the ball on the 1-yard line. Put it in your mind, the entire league benefits from Clark. Not only the Indiana Fever, a lot more people are becoming interested in women's basketball because of her. But what's the use if those new followers can't locate the matches or if they're scheduled at inconvenient times? But Barkley isn't merely griping, he has some thoughts. He thinks the WNBA has to reschedule their games for more convenient hours. Going head-to-head with football? No-win situation, says Chuck. It's like attempting to sell sunglasses in the dark. No matter how good your product is, nobody will buy them. The worst part is the chance that was lost. Clark is more than simply an outstanding player. She has the ability to revolutionize the league as a whole. She possesses the talent, personality, and star power to take the WNBA to the next level. Nothing will come of her potential, though, if the league is unable to present her in the best light possible. Clark isn't the only one involved. Women who have devoted their lives to basketball make up the WNBA's roster of amazing athletes. They ought to have their games viewed and valued. The scheduling and visibility problems they're facing right now make it seem like they're playing in a gym without any fans. Is there a way to fix this? You know what? Barkley has some ideas, and they're not complicated at all. A more organized schedule, increased exposure, and a transparent strategy to inform fans of when and where they may view the games are all necessary. The simplest solutions aren't always the easiest to implement, even though they sound easy. Put aside for a second the WNBA's problems. On the court, things are becoming crazy. Instead of merely playing the game, Caitlin Clark is rewiring her entire team's mentality regarding the game. How can a complete novice accomplish that? As if the Indiana Fever were bestowed with a basketball powerhouse by Clark. Know how some athletes elevate the performance of those around them? Clark is really elevating it. It's not just the ball that she's passing on, it's an entirely different style of play. It was all Charles Barkley could talk about, and he's no stranger to court dominance. As a result of playing Clark's style, he claimed, her teammates are becoming more selfless. Do you think it's possible? Upon the introduction of a rookie, the entire team begins to share the ball as if it were Christmas morning. The intriguing part, though, begins at this point. Barkley drew parallels between his personal experience and Clark's effect. He pointed out, the game is only hard when you play with guys who suck. Hurt Chuck. However, I do see his point. Playing with excellent teammates makes the game much easier, and that is precisely the case with the Fever right now. Clark is influencing the team's very DNA, not only adding points to the score. It has come to Barkley's attention that Clark has mastered playoff skills. Even while it doesn't seem like much, that is really quite significant. Even when she isn't directly involved, she is improving the game for those around her, so she isn't merely waiting for her day to shine. Is there anything even more bizarre? A new style of play is emerging across the board. According to Barkley, you can see like a little osmosis. They're pretty unselfish to watch. Clark seems to have an infectious style. It seems like every player on the court suddenly possesses Clark's superpowers as the action goes from a typical WNBA game to something completely different. But we must admit that this isn't a picnic. Envision yourself as a seasoned player who, due to an inexperienced opponent, is forced to completely alter your approach. It would be the equivalent of a professional chef having a child enter the kitchen and alter all of the recipes. It may not sit well with all of the players. A hidden tool for Clark? Her speed is increasing. Barkley attributes much of her success to that. It's not merely about dribbling the ball from side to side, it's also about being able to anticipate possibilities and make snap decisions. As the others continue to set up the checkers board, Clark is engrossed in a game of chess. Do you recall Barkley's previous comments regarding the Olympics? The game became just so easy for him, he said, because he was playing alongside such outstanding players. Simply put, think about the implications for the Fever. Thanks to Clark, they're able to accomplish things more easily. They seem to magically acquire basketball abilities all of a sudden. The crucial question, though, is whether or not the remainder of the squad can maintain pace. Quick as a flash, Clark is altering the course of play. Some athletes will be able to adjust and even thrive. Anyone else? Because of this, they may discover that they are unable to keep up. The fact that Clark is making it appear effortless is the true magic. She isn't only racking up fantastic stats, she is also bringing credit to her teammates. Passes that were previously intercepted are now leading to easy goals. Players who were previously timid are now taking confident shots. It's as if everyone is catching Clark's basketball IQ, but under no circumstances can you assume that everything is going swimmingly. Great power is accompanied by great, well, you get the picture. Now Clark is being pursued. She will be the target of every squad they face. In an effort to derail her strategy, they will unleash all of their resources on her. Everyone is feeling the heat. Not only Clark, the rest of her squad have to do the same. The Caitlin Clark program isn't something they can casually enjoy. They need to be just as enthusiastic, imaginative, and risk-taking as she is. Like someone handed them the keys to a Ferrari. Now they just need to figure out how to drive it.